there was a speech tonight that a lot of people seemed really excited about, and that was Donald Trump Jr. There he is making his way to the stage, and we have a little bit of that sound. We're going to play it out for you now.
Tonight I want to talk to you about the country we live in, the country our children will grow up in. For my generation, this is the most important election of our lifetime, one that will determine the future of our country and, in turn, the future of the world. For too long, our country has ignored its problems, punting them down the road for future generations to deal with. In business, I was trained by my father to make the tough investments and decisions today to ensure a brighter future tomorrow. We've actually started to believe that solving our great problems is an impossible task. And that's why we need to elect a man who has a track record of accomplishing the impossible. For the first time, parents no longer think that their kids will be as well off as we were. We've lost the confidence in our leaders and the faith in our institutions. But remember one thing, we're still Americans. We're still one country. And we're gonna get it all back. We're gonna get it back better than ever before. I know we'll get it back because I know my father. I know that when people tell him it can't be done, that guarantees that he gets it done. I know that when someone tells him that something is impossible, that's what triggers him into action.
That was Donald Trump Jr. speaking earlier today on the convention floor, talking about his father, Donald Trump, who is now not the presumptive Republican nominee. He is the nominee of the Republican Party. Joining me to talk about this is Major Garrett, our chief White House correspondent, and Mo Rocca from CBS Sunday Morning. So, listen, what did you guys – first, I got to ask you, Mo, because I've asked Major all day today, but I want to ask you what your take is on this Melania Trump plagiarism allegation.
Well, there's so many conspiracy theories out there already. Like, no, some people believe that it was Ivana or Marla Maples who did it.
That's not true.
I'm telling
Come
you,
on.
I've heard that. Okay, granted, that's from the Aaron Spelling camp. They think that's, and then all.
That's plausible from a Trumpian point of view because that's what Donald Trump will say sometimes. I've heard that. You know, it's out there.
It's out there.
It's out there. So it's legit.
Very Trumpian.
It's very, it's legit.
Yeah, it could well be. I mean, and I'm sure there were so many tweets about Melania saying, "This hurts me and my daughters Sasha and Malia." Which, by the way, it really should be. I just want to say it should be Malia and Sasha.
Why?
Because Malia's older than Sasha.
Oh, right.
Like you never think about it with siblings. You never do it like youngest to oldest.
Yeah, yeah.
So we should change that while there's still time, like before the administration ends. No, I mean, look. I mean, there are people that believe that Donald Trump actually courts these kinds of controversies because then the media, in the eyes of many, overreacts, and then people feel like, look, Donald Trump's getting beat up again.
Right.
Like, leave his wife alone.
Leave her alone.
It's just a speech. She's not running for office, and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, Major,
it is having a material effect within the campaign.
A distraction.
Oh yeah, the knives are out and they're sharp.
Is that right?
Yes. There was a great deal of conversation this morning. How bad is this? And then by midday, it was like, it's pretty bad. What are we going to do about it? And that's to be determined. But there are rival factions, and there's positioning going on. And God bless Nancy to get that detail. That's the speechwriter saying, hey, there's a codicil in the speechwriter's Bill of Rights.
Right.
You submit it,
yeah.
and somebody else changes it.
That's
you
it.
have full authority to say, not me.
Not mine.
Not
Yeah,
mine.
right.
And so they have, candidates have right of first refusal. They can take your draft and send it back. Well, authors, once the draft is accepted, also have right of first refusal.
Yeah.
I refuse to talk about my culpability because I don't have any.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we have a couple of we have some memes, some Melania memes that have been trending since this sort of scandal broke, and there are a couple. They were obviously on Twitter. Yeah. So the text of Melania's next speech.
Scandals have been heavy.
This is obviously the Gettysburg Address. Special shout out to Malia and Sasha, my husband Barack, and my speechwriters copy and paste. For the younger people who might not remember who that is, you got to have to Google Rob and Fab. What does this one say? I am a proud independent black woman. Melania Trump. She knows strife Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes, that was sent to me by several today.
When your term paper is due at 12 and it's already 11:50. Girl, is that your speech?
These are pretty great.
Wow, these are. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed. That is great. That is great. Although
I think Mo would agree. This is proof positive. There are comedy writers all over this country.
Yes,
with great potential.
Do you know?
Yeah, crowdsourcing this material. It's great.
And giving it away for free. They shouldn't do that.
No.
In fact, my piece for CBS This Morning tomorrow is about political cartoons, and some of the best in the country agree that this is an age of democratization because of memes and things like that.
Right. Because one of the things I've discovered when memes like that come about is that I absolutely have no wit. I could never come up with some of these witty things or some of these things that like people are doing because, and the control room is agreeing that I have no wit whatsoever. You guys didn't play the most famous one, which is Crying Jordan. Somebody pasted Crying Jordan on Melania Trump's face, but all right, we'll leave that one for next. So
that one never gets old.
It never gets old.
It works for just almost any meme imaginable.
Anything at all. It works for anything at all. All right, so Donald Trump Jr. gave a speech. People seem to respond very well to it. But again, one of the things that I've been hearing, and I've been hearing it from Republicans and some of the delegates, is that they're also waiting to hear some specific policies. What kind of policies? With Hillary Clinton, we know that she's going to talk about the minimum wage. We know that she's going to talk about, how she intends to make education more affordable for young people. What are we hearing? What have we heard in the last day, maybe?
Paul Ryan is the closest you got to it. He went through
a Republican agenda.
Yeah, his Republican agenda that he's putting together in the House of Representatives. He started working on it in January because Paul Ryan is, if nothing else, a skilled politician who knows that he has to do things on behalf of not only his own political future, but the political future of all the other members of the House Republican Conference. And so he said, looks to me like it's either going to be Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. I'm not going to quote him here, but I think something approximating the word yikes crossed his mind. So he said, I better have something that my members can run on if, in fact, they're not as comfortable as they could be or ought to be, or I would like them to be, with either Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. So he built a legislative agenda, 6 points: tax reform, entitlement reform, poverty, infrastructure, education, a replacement for the Affordable Care Act, et cetera, as a way to, with policy and a little bit of politics, buttress yourself, if you feel the need, against whatever the nominee of the party brings your way. And that early January, it was either Ted Cruz or Donald Trump. Now we know it's Donald Trump. And so in his speech tonight, which I would say got a couple of rounds of applause, but not much, he was giving voice to that agenda.
It was pretty shrewd. It's actually pretty, I mean, it's a very roundabout, awkward way of endorsing a presidential candidate, but basically laying out this entire vision, what he thinks should be the vision of the presidential candidate, and then saying, oh, and by the way, elect this guy because then it will get signed into law. Right,
and basically also saying, hey, if you're not really big on specifics and you're not really eager to do all the hard work, well, we've done it for you, Mr. Trump. So that could work for you too. Yeah, that could work for you too.
And you guys talked about something interesting. For Major, you mentioned Senator Cruz, and you mentioned the endorsing of Donald Trump and his ideas. Senator Cruz is expected to speak tomorrow. I wonder, are we going to, he's been very coy. I don't know if you've heard anything from the campaign. He's been very coy about whether or not he's going to endorse Donald Trump here, or not even mention him at all and use it as a Chris Christie moment to just talk about himself for perhaps the future.
He's going to name him. We should take bets now. I think Donald Trump gets mentioned three times.
All right, Mo Rocca calling it 3 times.
And the Constitution gets mentioned 17,000 times.
Exactly. There you go.
And Ronald Reagan a couple of times, right?
Constitution wins, I guarantee you.